And it's all yours.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the National Oval Racing Association broadcast booth, live from sunny Sebring in South Florida. We are here today with the NORA Sim Truck Series. This is the second race of the season. If you were here for the first race, which was over on my personal channel on Twitch, we didn't have the YouTube set up, and we weren't ready to go for that just quite yet. You would have seen Rico Abreu pulling out the victory. We have since added, I believe it is 6 trucks. Josh, my cohort,
Yes, 6
I believe it's
trucks.
6 trucks. Yes, so there's 6 more trucks now. That is up from the 30 that we had at Daytona, which now means, and is going to be very exciting, go or go home qualifying in our qualifying session. The the slowest 4 drivers will go home.
Yeah,
Now,
that's going to be interesting for sure. I know we've talked about it already before too. Your winner, Rico, got to be top 20 in points. And we talked about ratings a lot yesterday. I don't think his ratings are going to put him in the show today.
well, certainly from looking at it statistically speaking, from the ratings and looking at it from that viewpoint, you would think not. But as the AI has shown us throughout the first, I think we're up to 5 races now. Um, Anything can happen, and I do mean anything.
Yes.
So,
Well, we saw it yesterday too in the GT4 race. We've done numerous tests, numerous practices for say, and kind of seeing what happens. And I would say yesterday was, for lack of better words, the worst session, I guess we'll say, we've seen here. I know I did a test last night, which I told you about, and it was better. The front couple got spread out, but you still had your battles. You still had plenty of mistakes, actually, which I was happy to see. So that'll be interesting to see how that carries over. And it's just interesting to see who gets sent home. It's the first time all season we're doing go or go home. So it'll be interesting.
and we'll have to get into whether or not we're going to do a technical charter system or more so owner points, which I think it should be owner point going forward. But even still, I think it's too early to implement that, because I know even NASCAR didn't use that for like the first 5 races when they did it. So we'll have to see what we decide on that. But right now, it's if you're in the slowest 4, you're going home. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, and like right now, looking at the practice times, we're still waiting on Jimmy Owens to put a time in, but your 3 that would be going home, again, waiting for Jimmy Owens, but your 3 going home would be Tyler Courtney, last week's winner, Rico Abreu, and Jacob Weaver. But it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot to be had here. There's a lot to see, and I know I'm super excited for this. I'm waiting for this. I've been ready, pumped. This is the first time we're going to see NASCAR styled vehicles or official NASCAR vehicles at uh, Sebring, as they are uh, current spec cars. I say this because there's a series SVRA that races in real life, and they do have people that enter old NASCAR cars that they bought, and they race those around tracks like Sebring and Circuit of the Americas and whatnot. But certainly they're not current spec NASCAR cars. So first time we'll see that, and it's going to be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for it. I hope last night is a sign of things to come today, as far as the mistakes that I saw. Um, it's gonna be interesting for sure. I know that we saw the same. Well, I saw the same start last night in the practice. They fanned out really quick. Real quick, we will head down trackside as one of our new drivers actually, and I'm gonna butcher this last name, but Larry, I'm gonna say Rosler, And the 96 for POW Racing Team is your quick time right now. Cole Trickle, familiar name from last week, sitting second. And then Rowdy Burns third, Rob McCackern fourth, and Bryce Menzies, another new driver, sitting fifth. So right there in your top five, you've got 3 new drivers, and actually all on the same team as POW Racing Team.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that's going to happen, or that's going to play out through the rest of the season. Certainly with other drivers getting to that mark of skill that we would say, and it does look like Jimmy Owens put in his time, so certainly going to be interesting. I'm seeing a name, or I'm looking Matt Crafton in 18th. I would expect that to change in qualifying. I can't see Crafton being 18th personally. That's just, it might be a little bit of bias, but in every practice, everything I've done, Crafton still runs well pretty much everywhere. So I can't see that, him in particular, being that low. Some of the other ones I could, but even like Larson being back in 23rd, I can't really see him qualifying all the way back in 23rd.
Well, that was one thing too I noticed yesterday. There was a lot of passing. I know Larson, and actually I think it was Bell, started like mid-20s, I think, and they both ended up inside the top 15. So like I said, hopefully last night's practice is a sign of things to come, but there was definitely a lot of passing. But one thing I want to point on real quick before we go ahead and roll, 31st right now, Spencer Baston at a 2:15.171. Right now, if this is qualifying, obviously, your last driver in, Ron Hornaday, at a 2:15.271. The first driver out, Shane Clanton, and I want to show you how close these times are right now. 2:15.310.
It has a little bit of damage. But the other thing there with him, he won stage 1 last week.
This is also true.
So you're looking at not just seeing possibly the race winner from last week not make the race, but also one of the stage winners from last week. And it just goes to show, I think more so than anything, how little ratings mean at Daytona. Which, in fairness, we did help that, but also because it's Daytona and it's accurate to Daytona.
Yeah, they always say anybody can win at Daytona, and we definitely saw that for sure. That was probably our biggest story after last week's race. But no, and then this shows too. Like you just said, our race winner and potentially one of our stage winners right now, both on the outside looking in, is Rico, actually the only driver in the 2-minute 20-second bracket. So
he might have, and you can see it there for just a second, his little winner sticker, but it's not looking too good for this week.
With that being said, though, I think we are ready to get into qualifying, as we actually have a new driver atop the board. I think it's really loose out of that corner. Blade Timmons.
And this corner right there where he just went through, keep your eyes on that in the pace laps for a little bit of something that the AI likes to make us smile a little with.
So with that, though, Blade actually jumped from 6th up to the lead. So very interesting to see there. But
Courtney's in the grass.
Tyler Courtney off. I'll take a quick look at what happened here. He just overcooked the corner.
Yep. And around we go.
But with that being said, I think we'll keep your tradition alive and we'll ride along with the quick time. I think it's loose again. That was something I will touch on too. I noticed a lot yesterday. We talked about the smoothness rating, Daytona coming off the corner and such. I noticed it a lot here. There was a lot of guys, not just in that one corner you mentioned, but throughout the whole track, that coming off the corner, getting loose.
And that could be a product also of track temperature and whatnot. And we'll have to keep an eye on, and also just note for future, you can just hit the button up at the top.
Oh, true. Quicker. As Junior goes off to end practice.
Yep. But we'll take a look at what the air temperature is. I believe I don't know if it shows the track temp on that little graph.
It does not.
So yeah. Oh no, it
Oh, it
does.
does. Okay.
It does. It's at 95 currently. So we'll pull that up. That's what it was in practice, and that was what it was at practice. You can see the track temp's currently at 83. Air temp 68. So we'll have this backup for pace laps, and we'll see what it's at there. But certainly that could play a factor into it as well.
Another thing I saw right there too, the wind. I don't think we had a ton of wind at Daytona. Like, I could be wrong, but I don't think we did. But I know this is for sure the most wind we've had so far out of last night and here today. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays a factor too into these trucks.
Absolutely, and certainly these trucks a lot less grip than the GT4s, which I think will make for great racing, and just a little bit more range to kind of beat and bang a little bit, if you would. I think that's going to factor in, and we'll see some interesting racing for sure. I'm excited to get this race underway, and just got to get through qualifying, and then we'll drop the green flag. Make sure those who are going home are going home, and it doesn't matter who it is. If you're in the bottom four, you're not staying. Pack it up, go home. Your day's done.
Yeah, which you hate to look at it that way, but it's what it is, you know. And I touched on it a lot in Daytona. You know, I never thought, you know, we would get to this point, and you know, here we are. We got, I think, 35, 34 GT4s. We got 36 trucks signed up, you know, every week. Xfinity's still a little low, but I think we gained a couple of drivers in that series too from the Powell Racing team. And then the Cup Series, you know, a full 38. So taking off for sure, and it's going to provide some what can hope to be great racing throughout the season.
Absolutely, and certainly with the addition of iRacing adding Richmond to the AI, we now have on all three calendars Richmond, which I know for the trucks has always been incredible, fantastic racing throughout the years, and I'm really hoping that they're going to put on a great show there. But it was kind of like an instant, you know, they added up Richmond. Let's take a look at that, and let's see where we can put that on the schedule, and manage to find a place. I think it's going to be great. Certainly, right now, Blade going through turn 1 on the run up to turn 2 here on his flyer.
And it'll be, like I said, I know I've seen it quite a bit here. I've seen probably the most mistakes I've ever seen AI make. You know, just locking up the right front going into this corner. Blades approaching here after the straightaway. Just overshooting corners, like even alone, like we just saw Courtney do in practice there. Just overshot the entry and got off track. But it's nice to see. I mean, even in the practice I did last night, there was drivers I thought, you know, you wouldn't see the mistake from, but sure enough, you know, overshot the corner, locked it up, went off track. So it's, you know, just it's going to be interesting. I hope it, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I hope last night happens again today as well, because, you know, after all, we do want to see the mistakes. We want to see, you know, maybe just for instance Blade here, you know, quickest in practice, maybe he can put it on pole, so we'll wait for times to roll through. But, you know, maybe turn 1, turn 2, you know, maybe the corner I was talking about, he locks up, goes off track, goes from the lead to 20th. You know, you never know. And then last night was a sign.
Which, fun fact about the following along with the driver, last night was the first time that the driver we rode along with, who was fastest in practice, actually no, because we didn't ride along with the pole sitter even last night. We have never rode along with whoever gets the pole. So if that trend continues, it's not looking good for Blade to get the pole. But yeah, actually, no, my statement is incorrect, because Kimi Räikkönen did it at Daytona. That was the only time it's been done.
Here we go. I forget already what we called this corner, and I gave you the proper name, but it comes off the final corner.
Sunset Bend.
Approaches the line, and we will see as time start to roll in. As Junior goes top of the board, he's the first one across the line. Blade Timmons, P4, 8th.
So he's now outside the top 10. Brian Deegan goes top of the board, and I believe that's going to stand.
As we are watching this bubble spot, Payne Faust right now, 30th spot. As Clanton goes 31st, Hornaday 31st, puts Clanton on the bubble.
Clanton's 32nd now. Spencer Basin coming to the line. And that's not looking like a great time there. And it's going to be 33rd. So Spencer Basin's first out. And I'm wondering, Weaver is second out. So Rico third out. And that leaves Tyler Courtney is out as well. So not only have we seen the stage winner from last week just scrape his way in. What was the difference there between Clanton and I believe it's Basin? Clanton ran a 2:13.8, and Basin, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was just about a second. I know, but one thing to point out too, though, from that, as we'll quickly get these guys parked and then go from there. But one thing I'll touch on while I'm doing this. Sorry, I'm having a blank. Clanton improved drastically.
Yes,
from
he did.
Practice to the race. Remember, I think he was 35th or so.
I was going to say, I think you're just disqualifying them from the session. I think you need to hit the button below it.
No, it works for this too.
For the race?
Yeah.
And you're sure?
Mm-hmm.
You tested?
It did yesterday.
Okay.
Because I tried it yesterday just to make sure whenever we gridded, they weren't
going to be out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it worked, so we'll see. But
okay.
But with virtue of this being a rather long track as well, which I will have to change this in order to be able to get on the track. That's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Usually, yep. That's usually my goal. My job for road courses, just hit that button. Go ahead.
So we will go to Deegan here. But with it being a longer track, we will go ahead and hop in and hop out.
Just like what we talked about. One position,
go
back live. And we will be able to pop this up for the first time this season. Our starting grid.
Absolutely. So you could see on pole is Brian Deegan. Rolling off from second is Michael Waltrip. Larry Rosler from third. Dale Earnhardt Sr. in fourth. Cole Trickle is fifth. Rob McCochran is sixth. Seventh is Chase Elliott. Eighth is his father, Bill Elliott. In ninth is Dale Earnhardt Jr. 10th is Rowdy Burns. Why don't you take 11 through 20?
Rolling off 11th, we were on board with them from qualifying. Blade Timmons, 12th, Bryce Menzies, 13th, Matt Crafton, 14th, Mike Skinner, 15th, Snoop D-O-double-G, Snoop Dogg, 16th, Timothy Peters, 17th, Ryan Dungey, 18th, Papa Bear, 19th, Jimmy Owens, and 20th, old C. Bell, Christopher Bell.
Rolling off from 21st on the grid as you can see them go through that fourth corner, doing a little bit of dirt track, but rolling off from 21st is Sheldon Creed. In 22nd is Nikolaj Skylis. In 23rd is Ricky Rudd. 24th is Tyler Erb. In 25th, we will see Kyle Larson, who actually is a lot further back than I would have expected from him. 26th, Ryan Conover. 27th, Harry Potter. 28th, Alexis Susi. I think the big surprise all the way back here, 29th, Russ Wheeler. 30th is Payne Faust. 31st is Ron Hornaday Jr. And 32nd is Shane Clanton. And that's the last truck in the field.
So this will be interesting for sure. I again, it makes it hard for us. You know, we're trying to keep up with everything, but like I said, if last night is a sign of things to come, these first couple corners are going to be interesting, to say the least.
Absolutely. As Michael Waltrip gets sideways through that corner. What you are likely to see almost immediately is something reminiscent of what you would say Pocono on a NASCAR start. Expect these trucks to just immediately dive out of the line, fan out like you see at Pocono going into that first corner.
Just real quick here, we'll pop up the race conditions again, see if anything's changed. I believe the track temp is going up.
Down a grade.
Down
to
okay.
a grade from qualifying.
So the wind is actually picking up as well. We're up to 12. Air temp's still staying at 68, but it's one thing we touched on, that wind.
And not to mention, it's clear skies, so there is it's not, you know, the track temp's only going to go up as the trucks are on track. They're only going to add to this track temp.
One thing, you know, it's I think we agreed on, I believe, if the track gets blocked, or I think three or more cars.
Yep.
So that'll be something to watch too. You know, maybe do we get a caution to end the stage? Maybe. Never know. Could. But I'd imagine once we get strung out, if we can get through the first couple corners, we'll be good. But we're approaching crunch time as we're getting close to that start zone.
Absolutely, as we're going to head down here into the Sunset Bend and take our first green flag road racing action of the 2021 NORA Sim Truck Series season.
Green, green, green.
We're underway here at Sebring.
And you can already see them starting to fan out in both directions, however they have to. I believe that is the 96. I think that's Roselle. As
Senior goes
Dale
around.
Earnhardt goes around. Dale Earnhardt Senior goes around, and it looks like as well we have a major blockage of track. I would argue that's a caution right there.
It is.
So absolutely, that's got to be a caution. Yeah.
Rob McCachran
stacking up the entire field. The caution is. You going to throw it?
It's already out.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. I didn't see the yellows pop up. So, yeah, Rob McCachran immediately first one, and I believe he towed.
He did.
So, according to our rules, not only is he the first caution, he is now out of this race.
So he actually looks like just got into, I believe it was Waltrip. As Dale did the same thing. Dale gets into Waltrip's left rear, spins himself, and looks like Rob Mack does the same thing. Just gets into Michael's left rear and spins himself around. We will just double check. Yeah, he did tow, so.
All right. And the question is, did anybody else tow?
That is a good question, actually. So we will go back up to
because I know Crafton was stopped, but as I'm seeing Clanton, Susie, Earnhardt, Herb.
No, everybody else is still on track.
Okay. We're showing a lot of guys out, but so all right. So 31 trucks are on track still.
The big one out of that, right here, Dale Senior.
Absolutely. So without question, we questioned if we were going to see a caution, and somebody decided to say, "Well, we're going to show you a caution on the first lap, in the first corner."
Which you can kind of say lucky enough, I guess, for Dale.
He's still going.
Well, but you almost have to wonder. He was a self-spin, off out of the racing groove. If Rob Mack doesn't get into Waltrip and doesn't spin, I'd say we're still green, and Dale's got a lot of ground to make up.
Absolutely, and there's some trucks with damage. I believe I saw Timothy Peters had some damage. It looks like the 60 had some damage. Definitely Russ Wheeler had a lot of front-end damage. So it looks like that kind of accordion stack-up effect that had occurred hurt some trucks for sure towards the back.
Nobody came down pit road, though.
No. So I'm not sure what their decision was there. All right. Looks like his paint scheme didn't load there for somebody.
Who's that?
I think Alexis.
Correct.
So interesting.
Well, I just saw again, as you mentioned,
Russ Wheeler, major front, and I think I can see where it occurred. If you look at the back of Harry Potter's truck, he comes around here.
Yeah. And even with that, I'll point it out. One of your drivers here,
Yeah, Timothy Peters got a little bit of that front end nose damage.
And he got it in the rear as well too.
So there was a large accordion effect there, which, you know, in fairness, I'm not surprised to see. I mean, you get a truck completely stopped in the middle of the road.
His Papa Bears didn't load either.
Nope. So that's no, he doesn't have one.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
No, we don't have one for him. So, but it looks like Snoop Double or DO Double G is running 12th. Mike Skinner up to 11th. Yeah, Rowdy Burns. No, he didn't qualify as well as I was thinking. He did well in practice, is what it was. Looks like Bill's loaded up on. I don't see Chase's, unless Chase is further up the field.
Yeah, he was P3.
Oh, he's in third. Holy! I believe he started on the same row with his father and back in 7th.
He did.
So excellent job by Chase Elliott getting up to the front on the start.
So something to note here.
It takes a while to catch a pace car.
Yeah. That's what I actually heard. Okay, so they are starting to catch up. But so interesting to note though, that's gonna hurt stage 2.
And the final stage.
It's a longer stage.
It is a longer stage, but it still will take apparently 2 laps to even catch the pace car, which would explain why nobody has pitted yet.
Just to show how far back the field is too. Crafton here, the last running truck, just
now across the finish line. Yeah. So this is interesting to say the least from that standpoint. And maybe we want to throw the stage caution a little bit earlier than the line. Although, in fairness, that also could have been because of the fact that they were already past the pace car.
Yeah.
So they had to go all the way around on the track. Yeah. And when we throw it the next time, they will be behind the pace car. So they might have to let the pace car by. So we'll see. We'll see at the stage. If they have to let the pace car by, then we'll be okay. Junior leads Cole Trickle there. Cole Trickle being the first Chevy in line, and I stand corrected. Apparently, Cole's supposed to be in front of him at the time of the caution. Still first Chevy in 4th, and actually, if we roll back through the field. He might be the only Chevy in the top 10, top
He is.
12?
The next Chevy, Papa Bear, back in 14th.
Yeah, and then you got Toyota in, I believe, 11th. The first Toyota is Mike Skinner.
Yes. Very Ford dominant right now. The only Chevy, the only non-Ford right now is Cole Trickle in 4th, inside your top 10. And then after that, it's kind of mixed throughout the field, but so here we go, as we're potentially approaching a pit stop.
And with as much as they've run just to catch the pace truck or pace car, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a couple papers. None from this first.
We're going
never
green.
Mind. Okay then. And we are back green, and immediately we're fanning out. Looks like 96, I believe that's Roselle trying to make the pass again. And this is just where it might happen again. Who knows? We might just immediately, as they're 4 wide. And Rowdy's going to get into Cole.
They keep it straight this time. We have a battle for the lead.
Keep it straight.
And I believe, real quick, I think something happened towards the back.
It looks like they just didn't get going, maybe. I don't think they ever caught up.
Oh!
Never mind. It is Senior and Larson, and I think that's going to have to be another caution because that's definitely blocking the track and is now
There will be a caution.
another few cars.
Senior now toes.
So Senior is now out of the race. And let's find out what has happened here. So yeah, they never got caught up.
Which was odd because they were caught up to begin with.
So let's see what happens here. So just Senior and it looks like maybe Alexa makes a late move, and he just loops it.
And like
And I think she looped it as well, but
like I had mentioned though, as Larson just comes plowing through.
There goes Mikolash. Crafton getting around with ease. But yes, Alexa just overshot it and overcooked it and spun it around.
Which is something I touched on, remember, the mistakes. And we just saw 2 right here.
Absolutely, and it's only the second green flag lap. We haven't even made a single green flag lap at this point.
Which I'm kind of surprised Larson and Mikolaj barreled in like they did, because normally the AI are very good, at stopping themselves. And
absolutely.
Right there we saw that they are maybe not as good as we thought.
Yeah, that is certainly, to say the least. So, what has to be the most interesting thing is, where is the pace vehicle at this point?
Still on pit road, actually. If I just saw that right. Yep, there you go.
Okay, well, it needs to get on track. Like now. And I think actually this is going to work out better. So yeah, see? I don't know what happened that last time.
Yeah, that
was it
first,
because it was so early? You know what I think it was? I think it's because the pace car had not made it to its spot on pit road yet. Because they wrecked in turn 1. And I think that's probably what caused it, maybe. I don't know. It just, one of the weirdest things I've seen was how long it just took them to catch the pace car the first time. So we'll see if they make pit stops this time, because I assume it's not going to just be, oh, well, we've caught the pace car, we're going to go green this time.
Well, one thing we didn't look at, which I didn't even realize when they were coming down that, I guess we'll call it the backstretch, to see if the lights were off on the pace car, which right now they're still on. So I would assume that we will still be under caution.
I would assume as well, as I believe Hornaday is last.
Yes, 30 trucks still on the track.
So, big surprise there though, out of Dale Earnhardt Sr., who I believe last week finished 12th. Led 2 laps, but finished 12th. He's now out of this race. And the other was the new driver, so.
Which, looking at these trucks right now, I would say maybe your top 17 have no damage.
That sounds about accurate. I think Crafton is okay in terms of damage in the back. Because I know he avoided Senior there too. It seemed like he avoided the first wreck, but no, I think no, I think that was just part of the Toyota look. I think he's okay. Yeah, the truck kind of looks okay, so we'll have to just obviously follow along and see what's going to happen with him. Certainly being that far back with as good of a driver as Matt Crafton is, we'll have to see. And you could see some of that damage. You could see Rowdy's got a little bit of side damage. I think Cole probably does as well. They got into it a little bit there. You got to think that's kind of funny seeing those two get into it, going into one on that last restart.
Well, we've talked about ratings, and I know for a fact, just because he's one of my drivers, but Rowdy's got, I believe, 100 aggression, and I think we saw that 100 aggression come out right there.
Absolutely. So, anybody who's missing this race right now, in terms of trucks, you're missing some great truck racing. I definitely recommend you get the chance.
Here we go, pit
you
stops.
Come back and watch this. There's going to be quite a few pit stops here. And I'm wondering if anybody is going to stay out. Rowdy Burns decides to stay out.
I actually don't know what these cans will do, but we will check them out.
That's actually... I think only Rowdy... Yeah, only Rowdy stayed out. So that's going to be interesting. Now, given...
are off on the pace car, so this will be interesting to watch.
I think they'll catch up.
Well, yeah, they'll catch up, but
as it looks like Junior might be getting out first, getting out second, third. No, still third.
Third. So Deegan, Rossler, and Junior. We have Waltrip, Chase, Timmons, Menzies, Skinner up to 9th now.
All right, good job on the Nightmare crew. Definitely Cole Trickle losing a couple spots there, and
trying to see
excellent.
Tyler Erb still sitting on pit road. Let's see if we can pop this up.
I would assume he's probably getting damage fixed.
Creed is also still on pit road.
I believe there are some of the trucks that do have a large number of damage, large amount. I believe Creed's is on his rear end a little bit. You could see on that right front. You could see that rear. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on them, see if they get back out on track. But because they've been on pit road for a minute. I don't know. I know they've been driving. They were driving with the damage, so we'll have to see. But this is going to be certainly interesting as, well, admittedly, we're already going to be 3 to go in the stage. Not having completed a single green flag lap. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we can get these final 3 laps of this stage in.
Absolutely. This is interesting. It's like I said though. Once they get going, I mean, you see it more so on
they start
the
to
actual.
Get a little spread out.
Yeah, and even then though, you still see mistakes. I mean, I didn't throw any cautions yesterday because actually there wasn't this big a carnage last night. But even when they got strung out, your main couple, like your leader and second and third, really didn't make mistakes. But you saw it from everybody else. At least I did. They didn't make mistakes because these two are still sitting on pit road, so they will lose a lap here.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have lap trucks for the stage. Or at least one. So that's gonna throw another spanner in the wrench.
As Herb finally rolling.
Actually, Herb is so. Herb looks like he'll be okay. Well, maybe, because I think they're going to come to take the green flag right about now.
They are approaching the first part of that final corner. So not yet, but
okay.
As Creed is actually now rolling as well. So he will barely make it out. But the big question is going to be, will we see any big moves if we'll actually go on board in this restart?
And the other question is, can we make it to the stage?
So we're green.
On board what I would call the helmet camera, and you could just see how nuts and intense this gets right away as Junior makes a dive to the inside. Everybody wants to get around Rowdy Burns, but he's going to be able to hold on, and it looks like they're a little bit more spread out this time. So
far,
keep an eye on the back of the field.
So watch for any mistakes here. It's Timothy Peters getting sideways.
He's holding on to it, though.
Right now, we're good.
I believe
so
I
far.
saw somebody out in the grass for a moment.
Two in the grass.
Snoop Dogg and
Menzies.
Menzies. So 2 trucks out in the grass there. I don't really know what happened, but we're going to get out there as
we're not going to ask questions. This is the furthest we've gotten into a lap, and we're going to go with it.
Absolutely. I think Mike Skinner doing a great job up to 7th now. So holding his own. He's bringing the fort, or he's carrying the flag for the Nightmare team in Toyotas. So is the 62 for Toyota.
Hey, right now, your top 6, all Fords. Your top Chevy right now, Cole Trickle, who fell back to 10th from the pit stops. But definitely going to try and make his way back to the front, as right now, Rowdy Burns. Granted,
on those old tires.
We haven't gotten a lap in, so this will be our first completed lap, but he is holding his own right now out front.
And he's holding it a little bit sideways. I saw him get sideways through that corner. I believe I saw Blade get sideways through that corner. And he does definitely have a little bit of damage on that left side of that truck. You can see that right or that left rear quarter panel is a little bent up, as we are seeing a little bit of a pass back here between Ricky Rudd and Harry Potter. Ricky Rudd's going to look to the inside, and Harry's going to let him go, and that's actually going to give Timothy Peters a shot at that.
Yeah. So 2-for-1 special right there for Peters and Rudd.
Absolutely.
Somewhat working together to kind of make that pass.
And they're going to try to come to the front, and still, I definitely want to keep an eye on that yellowish, greenish Menards truck back here and see what he's going to do, as it does look like he actually did pick up some rear damage at some point. But he's willing to just send that in and try to make moves. Matt Crafton, he's definitely not one to want to ride around.
You're seeing it. This is the big corner right here. We talk about a lot of trucks getting loose, but as Dungy sends it in deep, gets sideways on the exit, trying to keep it on the track.
As another truck didn't load, it looks like the 2.
The 2.
It should be the draw tight truck.
Oh, I don't think
As he locks it up and overshoots it. Right as we put the camera on it, the commentator's curse, if you would.
And one thing about the AI, they will wait until the track is clear.
But I do believe he is good to go.
As Menzies is on pit road.
As Bryce Menzies on pit road. No.
He just pulled down pit road. Okay.
Well, maybe he broke something. Maybe he actually slid all the way out and hit the tires when he went off.
It is possible. We'll be coming to the white flag in the stage this time by once they get back around.
No. Lap 10.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. You're right.
See Creed in the distance. Stupid. Roddy Burns going defensive on Brian Deegan. Deegan definitely wants to get that lead back. He's going to send it. And he's got the
fresher tire. Ooh, he's going to send it in deep. He's going to get out to one of the cones there even. So he's going to knock that loose, but he's holding as well on the outside of the Sunset Bend. He's going to get a good run here into 1. As once again, Roddy Burns is going to go defensive, and we're going to have to see if this is going to produce, because certainly we saw Deegan got a good run through the Sunset Bend, and now he's getting a good run here, and we'll see. I think he's going to get shoved as wide as he can. Now he's going to get a chance to look inside. Maybe no. Roddy's going to go defensive as Larry Rosler's going to kill a little bit of rear end contact there and giving him a little bit of a bump to Brian Deegan's back bumper.
This will be a prime passing zone right here. We'll see if Deegan can take advantage and maybe get inside of Burns here as we head into the hairpin. Burns goes defensive again.
But will Rosler try and send this up the inside as he does? That's just what I was thinking. He's going to send it up the inside. They're going to get side by side, and that's going to give Rowdy Burns a little bit of an advantage. I think that might be enough for Rowdy to hold off this stage. As now Deacon's going to go defensive, trying to hold second.
As we act, in the back, just to note, we had Payne Faust go off the track. So he is back now to 27th, but the battle is up front for the stage win.
As Blade gets a little bit in the grass, almost gets into the back of Dale Earnhardt Jr., and now Chase Elliott's looking at him, and Cole Trickle's gotten around a couple trucks. I believe he's now in 8th.
You would be correct.
So
there's no battle for the final stage spot as Bill Elliott about a 2.5 second gap back to Jimmy Owens in 11th.
Handedly has that one in, man. Rowdy Burns looks like he's going to maybe be able to escape with this. I think there might be a pass a little further back for 7th. We'll see if Cole Trickle gets around Mike Skinner here, but I think that's the best chance we have for one, and I don't think it's going to happen before the line. I think Deegan and Rosal are battling through the S's there. I think that cost them this. That's the stage.
We will have
Rowdy
to see
Burns
when
is
the
your
pace
stage
car
winner.
comes out here. But I'll run you back through your points paying positions here. Roddy Burns, as mentioned, your stage winner, I believe his first of the season. I have to say, by a rather surprising strategy call, but stays out, gets the stage win. Brian Deegan, newcomer, comes in second. Larry Rosler, third. Dale Earnhardt Jr., fourth. Another newcomer, Blade Timmons, fifth. And rounding out, I would say your 4 dominants in stage 1, Chase Elliott in 6th. Your first Toyota, Mike Skinner, 7th. Cole Trickle, your first Chevy, in 8th. Michael Waltrip, 9th. And Bill Elliott, rounding out your top 10 point-paying positions for stage 1.
So 8 of the top 10 Fords. Absolutely correct. And I don't think you'll see that as much as it looks like. I think the pace car is going to do that same thing it did. Wait until they come back around, and then it'll go out on track. So I don't know. I think it was because of how early that first caution was thrown, and I don't think the pace car was in position yet. I think that was the main problem with why it took so long. So we'll see them catch up, and I think even then, as long as it took them to catch up to the pace car, I believe it was still accurate to however many pace laps they would have here.
I would believe so, yes.
So, we'll see him come around here. I think they'll catch us. Menzies in 30th, I think.
A lengthy pit stop.
So he's a lap down?
2 down, actually.
So
according to timing and scoring.
We will see a truck to the inside on the start, so that's going to make things interesting. Very, very interesting.
A big break, though, gotta be Sheldon Creed. He's definitely about to lose a lap, but got lucky with the stage caution.
Absolutely, as I believe the pace car should be coming out here in just a second.
Hello. It is already out, so...
Okay, well, where is it then?
Right there.
Oh, there it is. All right. So, yeah, okay, so it's got it down. It knows when it's supposed to come out. All right. So they'll all catch up here, and then we should see them pit next time. Whoever wants to pit, I have to assume Rowdy Burns, for sure, be on pit road. After that, I'm not sure who, but...
I mean, it's hard to say. You know, obviously, I think if we're really racing this race, I stay out, seeing how much carnage we've had in the first stage alone. But you never know. I mean, you got your stage win, you got your bonus point for leading the lap, obviously. So it's... anything can happen from here.
Well, my question is, how long is a fuel run in this?
That information I cannot provide.
So yeah, we're in a little bit of a questionable situation with fuel, maybe.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I tried doing laps, and yeah, it was not fun. No.
It is not easy around Sebring, to say the least. Especially in a NASCAR vehicle. It's a little bit easier in a vehicle designed for road course racing. NASCAR cars and trucks are not designed to go left or right. They're meant to go left. So.
Tell you what, though, it is fun slinging these heavy machines around.
Oh, absolutely. And I'd love to see NASCAR maybe think about coming here one day. Certainly with it being a purpose-built racetrack, you know, there's no reason they can't. I've always said I'd love to see NASCAR hit up a street course like Long Beach or Belle Isle. I always thought that'd be kind of cool, but something we probably never really see. But certainly more road courses are always welcome by me. I know some people have problems with it. Some people don't like it. They're big. I don't think they should be on road courses, blah, blah, blah. But as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to real life, some of the best racing the last few years has been on a road course. So, even if it is just Chase Elliott winning.
Well,
the other racing as well has been good.
You got to be good to win. He's definitely good. But one thing to note here, granted, everybody pitted the last caution. Payne
with the exception
Faust
of Rowdy.
still trying to catch the field. Shane Clinton still trying to catch the field. Tyler Erb will not catch the field, as he's just not entering the hairpin. Sheldon Creed.
Sheldon Creed probably not going to catch the field, and Menzies is on the field, but you know,
as everybody's coming.
No, we'll see if everybody's coming. It doesn't. Well, no, everybody is not coming because both Chase Elliott and Mike Skinner decide we'll stay out.
I believe I saw Russ
I believe
Wheeler
it was,
as well.
I don't believe these two were the only two. Yeah, Russ Wheeler stays out, and Ron Hornaday.
Something I just noticed about the pit road here, and I don't think I saw it yesterday. They hit the pit wall when they turn into their pit box.
Do they really?
They do. And I noticed it because, let me see if I can find him here. Alright, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. So we go. Russ Wheeler was your leader, correct? Or Rowdy Burns?
Rowdy Burns, yes. Rowdy Burns.
I don't know if he was one, but yep. There's quite a few.
Yeah, it looks like some of them do it and some of them don't.
Problems.
Oh!
As we are
no!
making carnage under caution.
And the thing you have to watch here, so he caused carnage, and he's towing now. And you have to keep an eye on, make sure, go back and check to see that Rowdy Burns got moving again.
He did not.
So he towed.
Yeah, Rowdy towed as well.
So your stage winner is now out of the race. So let's see what happened there. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but crazy. Under caution, I don't think we've ever seen something like that. We're still in the scenic camp for me.
It shouldn't be. I'm on TV.
Yeah, no, you're good now. It seems like my stream is...
they both just went wide.
But one of them just came to a complete stop. Did Cole ever get going?
Yes.
Okay.
Rosler and Burns were the only ones that actually towed from this.
And from what I could tell, also, it looks like Crafton got out of pit road pretty well. So I believe they're coming around. I'd argue maybe throwing another caution.
Everybody's kind of
caught up.
I'll keep an eye on it,
but I think there's trucks out of position.
Not going. Mix up in the lineup.
I'm not really certain what's going to happen.
And we'll throw
As
it.
It looks like, I think because it should just, if you throw it now, it should just extend it, the one lap. Because it definitely looked like Cole's trying to pass people. He's trying to get back up to where he's supposed to be.
So this opens up a big, situation, because not only your stage winner, but arguably Rosler was, I believe, a top 5 runner.
Yeah, he was a very competitive runner. So this is hugely interesting. I don't know what Cole's trying to do. I don't know where he's supposed to slot in line here.
I believe he'll be 6th behind Deegan.
Okay.
Because I believe, it was Deegan, Cole, and then it would have been... Well, no, it would have been Deegan, Rosler, Burns, Cole.
Yep.
But obviously...
So somebody to note on this, you could look back there and see it, that yellowish-green Menards car, or truck, coming up forward. He's up to 13th now. I said let's keep an eye on that guy because he's not going to want to stay back in. Well, sure enough, now he's in 13th. We'll see. We'll continue to keep an eye on him, and of course, the rest of the field, especially now, as 4 trucks stayed out, and
5
one of
trucks,
them
actually. Your top
was it
5.
5?
Yep.
Oh, fifth, Ryan Conover in 5th. Yes.
They're all on a 7-lap run since they last pitted, and then Deegan on back, all pitted. Your best pit stop, from what I can see, was a 14.8 by this crew right here.
At Jimmy Owens. So, Toyota, known for getting good pit crews in, looks like they did it again. Jimmy Owens getting a great pit stop there.
And Deegan close with a 14.9. But so interesting to note here, top 5 stayed out. Arguably, Chase and Skinner probably your best 2 out of those 5. But we saw Roddy Burns stay out. Deegan could not make a pass. Took tires, obviously, 14-second stop. You're not taking that long for fuel. But
Nope.
as we are stacking them up back here. This just gets better and better.
So it's safe to say that Sebring might not have been everything we'd hoped for out of the GT4s. It's living up to everything we probably wanted to see with NASCAR.
Arguably
it's had
so.
everything. It's had a little bit of everything, and even some things that we just haven't seen, including wrecking under caution.
Yeah, that one's gonna hurt for sure.
If iRacing added the rain, maybe we'd even see the pace car wreck under caution.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. So I'm just going to call it now. I am calling a wreck in turn 1. And or turn 2.
Involving Hornaday and Deegan?
Uh,
Conover and Deegan?
Yeah, I'm going to go Trickle. I think Trickle's going to get aggressive here. And, yeah.
I think Skinner and Chase make it away cleaner. I think they're pretty calm, those 2 trucks. And then I don't think that Russ... also, somebody we're completely forgetting here, I believe that's Menzies on the outside. Lap down.
Yep. So we're green. Here we go.
Actually, my correction, he's on the inside, and we're going to see what he's going to do here, because this is going to be just as interesting as I think Skinner's out wide now. There's a little bit of brake lockup. I think
Was
just
from Menzies. 3 wide.
I believe Skinner's all the way out on the grass, just forcing his way through. And Hornaday managed to get up to 2nd.
This is the corner I'd be worried about.
Absolutely. It's Blade getting through there, and Russ putting the wheel off. So, and look at who's all the way up. I kept mentioning it. He's not going to wait. He's going to try to go up to the front. Matt Crafton into 8th.
You got to feel for Menzies, as he's actually going to go for a pass on Waltrip.
And he's just going to kind of hold up a lot of these guys. He's a lap down, and he's trying to make a pass on Waltrip, and I get where he's coming from, but you're just, at this point, holding up all these leaders as he's going to actually get into Waltrip. And are they, I believe they're teammates, aren't they?
No, Waltrip is for DEI, Menzies is for Power Racing Team. Is Crafton off track? He's into the tires!
Crafton in the tires!
Crafton into the tires!
And I believe he's towing.
He should be. From what I saw yesterday, this is almost like a guaranteed tow. Yep.
And there it is. So Matt Crafton is out of the race. We kept talking about how great he was.
He is not on track, but I forgot to do this earlier.
Okay.
Actually, he is on track. Okay.
Well,
so I was right. Okay, so you're gone. But anyway, you can see it here.
Chase Elliott, gone.
And with all the carnage, Deegan back to second.
Blade and third.
Timmons coming into pit.
That's highly interesting. I don't know what happened there. Looks like
Bill Elliott comes in as well.
Russ Wheeler looking to the inside, or they're going to get past here. No, Bill Elliott stayed out.
Oh, Ricky Rudd maybe? There you go.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people coming down pit road.
Interesting, to say the least.
Menzies, Creed, Bell, Herb. As I heard Timmons hit the wall, that's what that was.
And a couple more passes here as we go through the kind of the meat of the lineup. Peters up to 14th. Larson up to 11th. Look at that out of Larson. He's coming towards the front. He's looking to get into the top 10 for this stage. Maybe get some stage points, as I believe they're at 5 to go already.
That they are. Larson with a huge run down the straightaway. You know Horday's going to send it. He locks him up.
He does send it.
Makes
he
the
locked
corner.
it completely up. I'm surprised he made the corner. Larson looked at trying to make a switchback, but just wasn't enough there. Well, he's now going to have Dungy come around his outside, and Dungy's going to send it to the inside of Hornaday. He's going to get through. Larson's going to look to the inside of Hornaday. He's going to get through. Peters now to the outside of Hornaday, and Peters just kind of following through as Hornaday slides through that kick corner.
I mentioned it. You saw it a lot. It must be the setups. These guys are skating. As we have a big battle going on back here.
I thought I saw another big battle up a little bit further too as well.
You did.
Yeah, these guys were battling out. Looks like Bill Elliott got around Mike Skinner, and I think they're all being held up by Russ Wheeler. I don't think he has the speed for these guys, and just Crafton and Elliott and Papa Bear all just kind of stuck behind Wheeler. I think he's got obviously the speed on the straightaway, but just through the main portions of this racetrack, the technical sections, he just doesn't have it, and you can even see it. Bill shoved them out wide, and they just all three got around that.
So one thing to note, as I have a track map up on my second monitor here, Ricky Rudd, you see him right there leaving pit road, so he's now a lap down. Remember, you saw Menzies, I believe it was Herb, and Creed, all pit with Blade and C. Bell. And we'll go take a look here at Menzies because he got out a while ago. He's about to, I guess we'll call it the backstretch again, along with Herb and Creed. And Timmons and Bell had lengthy pit stops as they are just about on the cusp of being a lap down, more so Bell than anybody. But arguably the biggest lead of the day right now, 1.8 seconds, as Elliott gained 2 more tenths a lap with a 2:07.8 to Deegan's. Sorry, I apologize. Deegan closed in almost a second. Elliott's 2:07.8 to Deegan's 2:06.9. New best lap of the race overall as well.
So it does look like Deegan might be able to catch him before the stage and try and get that stage win that eluded him in the first stage. But we'll have to see. It looks like Skinner's going to hold on to his position. Is now Russ Wheeler just losing spots. He's lost to Dungy. He's lost to everybody. It's now Timothy Peters looking to challenge him. And I do think that, you can kind of see that the trucks that didn't belong at the front are going backwards. And Timothy Peters is going to get around him. It looks like actually Peters got around Larson at some point as well.
That's a battle for your final stage points.
As Timothy Peters moves into position to take it. So I don't believe we saw what happened between Peters and Larson for him to get around him, but
we did not.
I believe he did manage to get around him, and certainly, and I haven't seen Hornaday. I'm still wondering where he is. Oh, he's all the way back to 20th. Okay, so yeah, like I said, the trucks that kind of belong at the front are coming back to the front, and the trucks that didn't belong there but stayed out and got those positions are kind of at this point going to, and for lack of a better way of putting it, to where they belong, per se, in this race. Not so much that, they're just slow trucks in general, but just around this racetrack, they're just out of their element being at the front, if you will.
Just to put into perspective, too, just the tire difference as well. Chase Elliott, last time by, as you see, a 2:08.9. Brian Deegan, another second clipped off. As you can see, he is now closing extremely fast, but a 2:07.9.
But I will, as always, use the adage: catching him is one thing. Getting around Chase Elliott is going to be another thing.
Which, again, to put into perspective, Deegan, the only driver in the 2:07 bracket, and I'll even make it one better, the only driver below a 2:08.2, as Waltrip was your second fastest driver last time by a 2:08.2. But, problem for Waltrip, he's also 6.6 seconds behind the leader.
Absolutely, and he's not much faster than the lead. He is a little bit, but not by much, and that's not going to really close the gap there. As Papa Bear and Crafton are battling for 7th and 8th, I believe Crafton finished 7th in the last stage, did he not?
I can actually give you an accurate answer on that one. Crafton was 16th.
Correction, Skinner. I said Crafton, Mike Skinner.
Yes, Skinner was 7th last stage as well.
Okay, so he's still trying to hold him off. I got into that Crafton mode when he was battling around Skinner, and I've just, for whatever reason, equated the truck. But yeah, it's Mike Skinner in the 31 Lowe's truck. As we see Snoop EO-double-G battling with Larson as Clanton's on pit road.
Sorry. It's all because the scoring had him grayed out, so I wanted to see what happened. Snoop Dogg around the outside of Larson.
But Larson's not going to let him get away that easy, but it does look like Snoop cleared him, and we'll have to see if he pulls away. He's going to go try and run down Timothy Peters to try to get that last bit of stage points. But there's no guarantee that he's going to get there, as we are at 2 to go in the stage.
Another big lap from Deegan, by the way. Almost another second again. Elliott a 2:09.4, 12 laps on his tires. Deegan, half of that. 6 laps on his tires, a 2:08.5.
But with just 2 laps to go, all Chase needs to do is beat him to the line next time.
And actually, your fastest lap that last time by a full second and 2. Oh, never mind. It just changed because he crossed the line again. So, scratch that. But now by a second and a 10th, Blade Timmons.
But he's in 23rd. So
that just shows he's got the speed, though. If he can get this caution.
Oh, he does. He does have the speed, and I believe he was one of the drivers that pitted in that weird grouping of trucks pitting. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the lap after we went back green. There was a bunch of trucks that pitted right there and then. So
yes, Blade was one of them.
So that is the main explanation as to why he is in 23rd.
Yep, because Rudd pitted, had a longer stop, so he's a lap down. So right now, Seabell is your last car in the lead lap, but not by a whole lot.
No. So he's going to try to hold off as they come to take the white flag in the stage. And Deegan is going to be there. I don't know that he's going to have... I think you're going to see it through Big Bend and into that hairpin at 6. I think that's where you'll see a chance. And if he doesn't get a chance to get it done there, definitely into Sunset Bend in that final corner.
So you had mentioned it, catching and passing, 2 different things. Chase Elliott, faster that lap, 2:09.8. Deegan got up behind him and slowed down. As Waltrip, 2:07.6. Or sorry, 2:09.3. My apologies. So he's like everybody kind of starting to slow down a little bit.
It's not enough time to get up there for Waltrip. As Deegan just wasn't close enough. That's what I meant. He just didn't get a good enough run through the technical section. It looked like Chase maybe a little better through the technical bits of the first part of this lap. And Deegan didn't get a good run, so it hurt him into Big Bend and down that straightaway.
I was looking at timing and scoring. Your top 10 pretty much well spaced out. There actually really isn't a battle on the track. This is the closest battle. So I think this caution will definitely be needed to kind of bunch the field back up. But we'll see if Deegan can make a run here in these last couple corners.
he's going to have to get through this last technical section very well. This is a very difficult section of racetrack to get through as well, as putting it off gets very bumpy. There's tarmac on either side, and tarmac very different from racetrack. It gets very bumpy as they actually go off onto it on that section to make that corner a little bit easier. It's really neat to see, but I don't think he got enough of a run. I don't think he's going to be close enough.
I don't think he will be either. This, I believe, will also be Chase's first stage win. As real quick, yeah, Shane Clanton towed. So we'll right along back with Chase. He's coming to the green and white checkered for the first time this season. Chase Elliott, stage winner here in the NORA Sim Truck Series.
A fantastic job by Jason. He's picked her on the decision to stay up, get the stage win, as Shane Clanton is now out of the race. So we're down to 26 trucks still in this race.
Yeah, so your drivers out would be Rob Mack, who again running up front strong. Dale Sr., who, you know, still running strong, but
qualified well.
Yeah, expected a little better run. Rosler and Burns, who a little misfortune for Burns,
Under
I'll
caution.
say. Yeah, and then we saw Crafton, which again, that was one of the mistakes I was talking about. I saw it a couple times last night. They would get a little hot and get into the grass, and just not as extreme as that one. It looked like he almost launched on top of the tires, but
I thought he was landing on top of the tires.
And then we just saw Clanton, so
it's an interesting world for the AI, as it does look like Seabell, maintained that lead lap, so that's a big advantage for him, getting to stay on the lead lap.
As Ricky Rudd should be lucky dog once we get caught up here.
I believe he will be. I believe also your last driver to score points in that stage was Timothy Peters. It was. So I managed to get that number 24 Advanced Auto Parts Toyota Tundra up into the top 10. Score some points. Chase Elliott with the stage win. Brian Deegan second. Third was Michael Waltrip. Fourth, Cole Trickle. Fifth would be Dale Jr. Sixth is Bill Elliott. Seventh is Mike Skinner. Eighth is Papa Bear. Ninth is Ryan Dungy, and we covered it. 10th is Timothy Peters.
So interesting to see here who all pits as I'm looking at how long some of these guys have been on their tires. You got Chase Elliott stayed out 14 laps. Mike Skinner stayed out 14 laps as well. So really those two benefited the most. Russ Wheeler, again, 14 laps. Ryan Conover, 14 laps. And then Ron Hornaday, 14 laps.
He
locks up again.
Overcooks him under caution of that. So, and I believe the pace cars, coming up now. Should be just in front of these guys. Chase gonna slow down, let it get there, and Seabell gets to go around. Stays on the lead lap.
So I'll watch it here. I just want to make sure he gets his lucky dog, 'cause I'm sure he will.
I believe he has to catch the leaders first.
Yeah, the hardest part.
And that's road racing for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like this is just unique to the AI. This tends to be something that happens even in league races. People get spread out. It's a big racetrack. This is something that happens in real life when they have cautions. They get spread out, and it takes a little bit of time on certain tracks to catch up. I can't wait to see how long it takes for the last place car to catch up at Road America in the Cup Series this year.
Oof.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's on the Cup calendar in real life, not just in the game or in the sim for us. So it'll be interesting. This is not new. Like I said, some of those tracks I'm most looking forward to Coda personally. I do think that the cars will run well there, I know some people are bitching about it, but I think they'll run well there. And there's certainly some good passing zones. Certainly a chance for some good racing. We'll see. Road course racing hasn't let me down yet in the last few years, so I will continue to push for it. I'm happy to see the second race of the season's on a road course this year.
That'll be interesting for sure. While we got a second too, you can kind of touch on that. Just not even real life, but our actual NORA season. I know a lot of guys tend to stray away from the road course stuff, but I would argue I'll say truck and cup because right now B is kind of up in the air, but you almost have to be good on any type of track to be competitive now. You can't kind of look at the schedule more so for our series like, it's a road course, I'm gonna skip this week. Yeah, you figure we actually have the Daytona road course now for trucks because I know me and you were both running trucks.
Mm-hmm.
We got that. I believe we also have Road America added.
Coda is on the calendar for trucks.
Dakota, and then Watkins Glen too.
Mm-hmm. And then in the playoffs, Canadian Tire.
That's right. And to mix in, are they making a dirt Bristol run?
The trucks are.
So we have now that and Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
So again, one of those things. A lot of guys wouldn't run Eldora. Like, it's one race, I'll be all right. So you mix in all the road course plus the dirt races. You're, like I said, you're gonna need to be good everywhere. So if one guy stay out, as the 99 is Snoop Dogg.
And of course, we're gonna see if Ricky gets a lap back here. He should.
I believe Snoop led the lap, but nonetheless.
I believe so. It doesn't look like it's giving Ricky. It hasn't given Ricky the wave.
Okay, so we will. Boop. Please don't hit Snoop.
Please don't kill anybody.
Go to your left, please. So he's reminding me of one of those road ragers on the highway. You see, you don't get out of his way, so he's mad at you.
Somebody move to a different spot. Let him die. Oh, sweet Jesus. Look at all of the track to the slab.
Well, in other news, pit crews making a difference is Brian Deegan with a 16.1 beats out Chase Elliott with a 16.5. And actually, your best pit stop, looking at the times, would actually be the Kyle Larson crew with a 15.3.
Getting him up to 8th.
Papa Bear 15.4. And then I believe Hornaday may have taken just fuel only. Is he showing an 8.3?
Interesting.
And actually Payne Faust a 15.2.
Interesting from Hornaday if he did just do fuel only, considering he didn't stop at the last caution and he had a 14-lap tire run.
Actually, I can answer that question exactly. So something cool that I'll kind of explain to the audience too. ATVO, I can see the stint, and I originally thought that was just for fuel and stuff like that, but it is tires because Chase, remember, stayed out with Hornaday that last caution, came into pit. His stint is now 0, whereas Hornaday clearly just came into pit, or else he'd be up front. His stint is still 16. So we now know
he didn't take tires.
He didn't take tires, as Ricky Rudd finally got his lap back.
At some point.
Just now, apparently.
Only to probably lose it again because it took so long to get to it.
Not going.
So we'll throw that so everybody can get caught up. Everybody kind of is caught up. We're waiting for Seabell and Rudd. But, so knowing that now, Snoop Dogg stayed out 10 laps. Your next person on old tires, we'll say, is Hornaday in 15th on 16-lap tires. I'm not sure what's going on right there. Creed with 7-lap tires. Herb with 7. Timmons with 7.
It looks like Faust was actually supposed to be in front of Hornaday.
what's going on there. But so
That's one of
Seabell
the-
Seabell is not pitted yet, I don't think.
I mean,
Because I would
I don't
assume
think
no,
he's
because he's had to call it the field, catch the
yeah.
field. So he's on 7, and then Rudd obviously as well has not pitted, but he probably won't be able to because he's still 3/4 of a
Going
track
to catch
behind.
up, yeah. Well, he had the chance to, but
As Bell stays out.
so this is going to be interesting because the way the stages work, pretty much guaranteed to have a pit stop in the final stage.
We would assume.
Would assume. It's going to be 20 laps. We're a little underprepared on how long they're supposed to go. Did you get at least an estimated laps of fuel when you were trying to make laps?
Yeah, well, which I'll kind of elaborate to everybody else too. I had told you, remember, I went full screen to obviously make this better, and it was throwing me off personally too. You would think something that simple wouldn't, but yeah. So real quick here, we'll pop this back up. As the air temp actually went up 1 as well.
But interestingly enough, the track temp hasn't changed since the start. Really.
I think it went back up 1 as well, right? I think it was 82 at the start.
Yeah, yeah, but
stacking them up.
Yeah, there we go again.
As long as nobody tows, we're good. As Blade is, and Seabell for that matter, making their own course. Is Hornaday pitted again?
I'm not sure what is going on at this point.
Okay, so he changed his tires. Yep. So now his stint is 0.
he said, "You know what? Let me make sure I get tires here." Because he was caught up. He pitted with everybody.
Oh, Herb with a big hit.
Ooh. And the back end of Harry Potter's truck was a bit flatter than it was at the start of the race.
You got to be more careful. As Ricky Rudd still catching the field, but unfortunately, can't wait all day for people to get caught up, so.
Nope. Okay, here we go.
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
Absolutely. They're going to come down as, I believe this is the Almond Straight.
I believe so.
I don't know, in the Sunset Bend. They're going to come here through here. We're going to take the green flag, get in one final stage of the race. It's going to be a doozy. Certainly a difference here. Snoop Dogg with 10-lap-old tires. When they restarted last time and Chase was out in front and he was able to hold on to the lead, I believe his tires were only 2 or 3 laps older.
Real quick to point out, Ricky Rudd way back here still. But we're going to go green. We're going to ride along with Snoop Dogg to see how hectic it is trying to hold the lead going into turn 1.
Green flag.
Absolutely, and I guarantee you it is. Doesn't even look like he's going to hold against the lap truck here. Looks like Menzies might actually be able to get clear of him to the inside and get a lap back. I think that actually puts him back on the lead lap as he doesn't hold the lead. Michael Waltrip goes through and Chase Elliott. So Snoop, 3 spots, 4 spots already. Bill Elliott comes through. Dale Jr. comes through as I believe Carnage in the rear. Mikolaj was off track.
Off track, gets back on. I believe Ryan Conover as well was one of the trucks going backwards.
He's slow. Not sure why he is slow on the racetrack, but
keep an eye on that one. As I would say, there a big benefit from that start, though. Obviously Menzies, but Michael Waltrip as well. As Deegan still behind Snoop Dogg in 6th now.
And Crafton. I'm seeing the Craftsman saying Crafton, but Skinner running in 7th once again. This man has just been like, let me just run in 7th the whole race, apparently. Timothy
Hey,
Peters
maybe it's a
currently
lucky
running
number
10th.
for him.
Apparently, I mean, he ran, I think, decently well
Oh,
last week at
Timmons off the
Daytona.
track.
Yeah, he's all the way out to the tire barrier. He is going to get it going again, though, at least for himself. That's important there, but let's see what happened here.
Same thing as
Just
Crafton.
sends it wide.
Definitely got lucky though that he kind of spun it sideways and then caught the concrete again. Able to kind of get it slowed down. Because remember you saw with Crafton, he just kind of went straight and almost jumped on top of the tires. So
Yep, that was a crazy moment there, to say the least. As I believe it's Ford for the first 5 or 6 spots.
yeah, top 6. Skinner your first Toyota, and then Papa Bear your first Chevy, which will now
Well,
change
that's
to Cole
not true.
Trickle.
Yep, and look how quickly Snoop goes from the lead. In one lap, he went from the lead to now he's just trying to hold on to 6th. I don't know for how much longer he's going to hold 6th, let alone 7th once that gets lost.
This field is already just about spread out again. Besides, I would say your top 4, everybody within about 3/10 of each other in the top 4. But other than that, it is a wide range. Just real quick, I want to make sure. I would say Ryan's got engine damage. I would expect him to kind of pull off here in pit.
I mean,
Jimmy Owens in the tire barriers.
And looked to be.
And a toe.
I was say it looked like he was stuck in gear because he just wasn't going backwards. I'm assuming he was trying to go forwards.
It's right here battling Faust.
And he just overcooks it.
Overcooked it, and as much as what I saw yesterday, just drivers making mistakes.
And he just decides to keep it in first, and well, the definition of insanity. Because let's just keep trying to drive forward into the tires. And we'll go forward as Menzies has gotten passed by Michael at some point. Now he's locking his tires up in front of Junior, locking his tires up next to Deegan. It's a little bit interesting there, as I believe also it looks like Peters got around Papa Bear in the next back, and it looked like Cole Trickle got around Skinner. As now Cole's going to look to get around Snoop. We'll see what we got here. Is Snoop's going to continue to try to defend that inside line. I just don't know that he's got a truck to really be able to pull anything off, as now Skinner's going to get looked to the inside by his teammate. Timothy Peters going to look to go around Mike Skinner, send him back to 8th, or 9th actually. And now Peters is going to set his sights on Snoop D-O-double-G, as he's going to continue to just keep going defensive. And that truck, I gotta think the tires are too worn, and each time he's battling, he's just holding these guys up, and at some point, they're not going to put up with it. You would have to assume.
Hornaday on pit road again. But I know I had mentioned
as he hits the wall.
I had mentioned how tight the front 4 or 5 were, but Menzies. I mean, you can look now. Waltrip 2.1 second lead. Elliott 1.2 back to Earnhardt, and then Deegan's half a second back, and then Elliott another second back from Deegan. And you can just see how that separated that top 5.
Yeah, and you can see now how Snoop Dogg has separated Peters, Papa Bear, and Skinner from Cole Trickle. Because those 4, it was Trickle, Peters, Skinner, and Papa Bear that were all pretty much together. And actually, it was really, I think Skinner was on the back bumper of Snoop for a while. Cole cleared him, and then Cole got around Snoop, and he's gone. So you can see how much slower 10-lap-old tires is around this racetrack.
Which is kind of incredible if you think about it, because we saw, both stage winners stay out with, I would say, considerably more worn-out tires and able to hang on So I almost wonder if Menzies kind of forcing them wide hurt them.
Well, I don't believe that at the time of when they stayed out, they had considerably more worn tires. I believe the caution came out and Chase had only had like 2 or 3 laps on his tires. This is the longest we've seen anybody be on tires.
True. Correct.
And stay out.
It's 2 of your nightmare drivers, Peters and Skinner, battle for 8th. Kind of allowing Snoop to get away with a little bit. As Hornaday, I believe, still on pit road. Ryan Conover still on pit road. Larson now coming down pit road.
Down pit road, yep. And I believe that little bit of battle between the 2 nightmare drivers is also allowing Papa Bear to get involved as well.
He's extremely involved now. You gotta think Dungey's kind of licking his chops, like, yeah, you guys keep battling. I'm just gonna
absolutely
run my line and close in a little bit.
But I can tell you, I know the 2 nightmare drivers probably not going to be happy with Snoop defending as hard as he has been. They'll probably understand, you want to defend, but with as long as they've got and just how many lap old tires he has, they've got to be fuming at this point.
Kind of confused with why everybody's on pit road. They didn't have that many laps on tires, but got quite a few sitting there. You got Timmons on pit road.
Well, he
Guylis on pit road. Erb on pit road. Larson is Erb and Conover are now leaving. So Conover, 2 laps down. That was a 4-minute stop. Who else do we have? We had Hornaday was 2 minutes 17. Guylis is working on a minute. Larson 58 seconds. Timmons 38 and Erb 28. So the only, really, obviously no engine swaps or anything, so no need to, have them parked. But I would assume just getting damage fixed. I mean, maybe you can kind of elaborate on what you think. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
That's about the only thing I could think of. As Deegan's not going to look like he might be able to get to Junior's back bumper now. He's right there.
I think that kind of just shocked me. We've never, as a Guylis now leaves his box, but still going to fall out down the wall trip. But we've never really seen that. And I guess I'm, like I said, just kind of surprised that, which again, it's AI, but none of them, I believe, stayed out. So I figured, I guess they could have gone a little bit longer. But so we go back to this battle between the 2 Nightmare and Papa Bear.
As Dungey's now closing, and Papa's going to look to the outside of Timothy Peters. Looks like he's not going to get the job done, and now Skinner's going to be to his inside, run into this corner, and that's going to set him up well, possibly not for this corner, but for the next corner. And he might be able to get the job done as Dungey's now there as well. But it does look like Papa Bear's going to hold on, and Dungey's now going to be the Skinner's inside going into this corner here. So they're still battling, and now you could kind of see Timothy kind of clearing up. He's going to go try to get Snoop Dogg again. So it's going to be more of the Nightmare versus Snoop Dogg battle. And Skinner, really, I got to assume Skinner, who, was running 7th, running well, was pretty far in front of all of these guys until Snoop Dogg. So I've got to assume Skinner's probably not going to be happy there. I had to assume all of these guys aren't going to be happy. I think at the time that they had caught Snoop Dogg, they were, I think, only about 4 seconds behind the leader at that time. I believe they are now 14, if not more, seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, Snoop's sitting at 16.2, Peters 16.7, Papa 17.9, Skinner 18.4, and Dungey 18.8. So, yeah.
And it's, you're looking at old tires versus all of these guys on new tires. So it's certainly a question mark on that, on whether or not they're going to be pissed off. I could assume Skinner for sure fuming over the radio right about now.
Your fastest driver lap time by was Bill Elliott in 5th, but as this battle goes on, one thing I want to point out is we'll keep it on this battle though. 2 drivers that at the end of stage 1, the end of stage 2, were, I would say, within a second of being a lap down and kind of ruining their races. Sheldon Creed, stage 1,
Mm-hmm.
and C. Bell, stage 2. Both drivers have now played strategy, done what they need to. Creed running 12th right now, 6 seconds behind this battle. And C. Bell, 14th, way back behind this battle, but arguably,
Still running well.
yeah, both drivers recovering very nicely.
Absolutely. I don't think you could ask for a better recovery out of those two drivers, as we still have Dale Jr. Trying to hold off Deegan. And it kind of looks like Menzies really kind of put a gap between these guys. You can see on fresh tires, they all look to be kind of somewhat even lap time wise. I don't really know that Deegan's much faster than Chase Elliott or Michael Waltrip, although I gotta wonder if he feels like he's getting held up by Junior.
We kind of saw yesterday with Mick. I mentioned it. He might be getting held up, and even though we've seen aggressive moves, I almost want to say, yeah, it could be the same situation. Lap time wise, like last time by, Junior was faster than both Deegan and Bill. So,
but even to point something out here, look who's now on their tail, behind both of them, and even Bill Elliott. Look who has caught them after being held up by Snoop Dogg. Yeah, after being held up by Snoop Dogg for as long as he was. So Cole Trickle with a very fast race truck, trying to come to the front, and it really kind of continues to show just how much slower Snoop Dogg is.
Actually, real quick, if you look at Trickle's lap time,
2:09.5. Blade Timmons with a 2:07.3, and then let's show what Snoop Dogg ran last time, just to show the difference in laps, as he's actually on pit road.
Oh, so we ate our words on that one.
But it even showed like his previous lap, the lap before, was still a 2:11.
Yeah.
It was just so much slower. Look at Timothy Peters being held up behind him at 2:12. Papa Bear probably something similar. Another 2:12. Or 2:11. It's just 10 lap old tires. I get the decision to try it, but with as long as they had, he needed to hold more cars behind him earlier, and it didn't happen. And once it didn't happen, that's where you have to just go, okay, well, I got to get to pit road now, probably. Although then again, I don't know how far they can go. So maybe that was him getting to his window.
Yeah, Ricky Rudd on a 15 stint. Creed and Bell also on 15, so they are the longest on tires right now. So everybody else is approaching 8. I just wanted to see if Blake could click off another 2:07. He could not, but still, fastest truck on the track. Is right now your only real, somewhat of a battle is actually these same 3 trucks, but also now Deegan and Elliott.
And Cole's right there once they start battling. So.
One thing we've always said when it comes to even the real NORA races, and you're seeing it here, if you can get through about that first lap or two and kind of get spread out, you will rarely see a caution. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen more mistakes from drivers. I saw a lot yesterday, even when they did get spread out. But here,
I have to assume though, if this was not AI, Snoop would have been moved by somebody at some point there.
I will agree with that statement. I know me personally, I definitely would have.
I would have as well. You start losing too much time, and you can go right off the racetrack. You're not gonna hold somebody up for too long in real life, and certainly the AI are a little bit more cautious about things, and they're gonna let some of those kind of things go. As he comes out, he's managed to hold 15th. So good on him for that, but
he just got around Faust for that spot. But real quick, we don't have a paint for the 81, correct? He's saying he sent you one, but I get the brunt of the load, What?
You cut out for me. I'm just gonna go ahead and
Oh,
say that.
no, I said I get the brunt of the load because, you know, everybody tunes in and, oh, where's my paint scheme? I don't know.
Well, in this particular case, on the 81, we don't have one. And the only other two that we had that didn't pop up, they just didn't load, I guess, because I assume you loaded them,
It'd be
were the
the
8 and the 2, which is one of yours.
Yeah, I'll have to check the 2. I don't know if I actually got sent that one or not, but I will double check
Oh,
after
you got
this.
sent it.
Oh, well, nonetheless, it's okay. But really, I mean, there's no real battles going on right now. I'll keep an eye on this one as we saw Mikolaj and I believe it was Menzies getting caught by Peters in this group.
So it's, you got to think these guys have a little bit of something in them. Certainly Peters running very well now that Snoop's cleared. He's actually kind of driving away from Papa Bear, looks like. So even with a little bit of damaged race truck, Timothy Peters putting it on. As you have to also assume that probably not too long off, you would think, pit stop.
Yeah, right now, like I said, it's Creed, Bell, Rudd, and that's about it. As Creed's coming in on lap 16, so is 16 the magic number? As we'll watch Bell, see if he comes in as well.
So 16 is the magic number, which actually kind of equates well with where Snoop pitted.
I think that's the number.
That's going to be the number. So we're looking at about
6 laps, 5-6 laps.
I think 4 to go.
Okay,
so
yeah, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in that window.
It's gonna be it's gonna be late. we knew it was pretty much guaranteed that there'd be a caution. They can only go so far on fuel, and NASCAR decides on distances relatively long enough to make sure that we get a pit stop in the final stage.
16 is the number.
So that'll be it.
So
we'll have to keep an eye on.
Creed out of these 3 right now, best pit stop 15-2. Bell, a horrendous pit stop 19-1.
Oof. That had to be getting a little bit of damage fixed.
He'll hold 18th right now. And we'll watch Rudd as Larson will be the next position. Larson's going to get through. We would assume. Herb would be next.
And there's Conover as well, but I believe he's a lap down.
Yes, Conover 2 laps down.
2 laps
Rudd,
down.
A 15-8, but will lose a spot to Herb. And the next one over a minute behind.
And as you can actually see, as we came back to this, at some point, and I don't know how it happened, Mike Skinner is around Papa Bear.
See if we can find it here.
He's cleared him and has since just driven away.
Right here.
Right there at the Big Bend. So it does look like, and it's going to be interesting to see how this happens, really. It looks like he gets outside, and Skinner with just a dive bomb of a move. What an incredible job to get a run down in there and actually make that pass and make it stick.
Give him props on that one. As Papa Bear struggling to get around Menzies.
Papa Bear, I believe, actually just got passed by Menzies. And he's now getting passed by Mikolaj. So
one thing I want to keep an eye on. We said, 16 laps is the number. And we saw it yesterday with GT4s. We predicted, 9 laps. And they would be pitting, coming to the checkered. So right now, Play Timmons, 5-lap run, 5-lap stint, coming to 11 to go. That would put him right at the magic number of 16. Granted, yep. I think he's way too far behind to be able to catch the leaders, as right now it's showing.
I don't believe that they will catch the leaders on that one.
Because right now it's showing a minute 29 behind. Although, if he can keep putting on consistent laps, right now he's running, obviously you can see, a 2:09.6. to Waltrip's 210.0. So if he can keep clicking them off until these guys pit, it'll help tremendously, obviously. But I don't think it'll be enough. But it's just something I kind of want to keep an eye on, because that's, a lot of time that can be gained right there.
Absolutely. Is we continue to have this little bit of a battle. It's kind of continued on. Nobody's really getting to take advantage. I think that was Ricky Rudd on pit road again.
Yes.
So I don't know what he's on pit road again for, but he is. As he hides behind the Rolex sign. No, I don't want to be seen. So with just 10 laps to go, Ricky Rudd on pit road again. I'm not really sure what that's about, because I don't think that was scheduled.
It could. He had just pitted. He did take tires again, though. It's got to be damage. Well, it was damage. It was tires again, because he's back on a 0 stint, and some damage, 24.3 second stop. But to go off of my Timmons note that I added about, the leaders having to pit,
Snoop can't make it.
3-lap run. He'll be able to make it.
Oh yeah, that's right. He pitted at 14.
And he's only a minute behind, so 28 seconds up the road from Blade. I don't think it's enough still, but he'll be close, because right now, looking at people's time on pit road, from entrance to exit, it's anywhere really from 42 seconds, like a high 42, to like a low 48, depending on obviously your pit stop. So this is a battle for 11th also.
His advantage was the staying out and being further up the road at the start, but he still didn't do what he needed to. He needed to hold as many guys as he could behind him to really get a great finish out of it. I don't think he's really going to be able to finish much better than maybe right where Timothy Peters and Mike Skinner are.
Yeah, Susie, if you're still watching, the 8 didn't load. The 81, Nick said he doesn't have, but
I don't have.
Look. So actually, back towards the battle for 3rd.
And they've got to be... How long have they been out on this set of tires?
This is 13.
So they're getting to about 3 more laps. And we'll see them pit. We think.
Not a battle.
No, but it's the leaders being in lap traffic.
Oh, it is. That is right.
Because there's Michael Waltrip in front.
I saw Herb's gap go to 0, and I was like, oh, I think he's off track. And then I looked, and, well, no, he's getting lapped. So that would answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
So Larson is the next one to go lap down. He's up the road a little bit, which obviously, again, once the leader pits, that will help as Herb now goes...
As Herb's off the
track.
Let's keep an eye on this, because he's got this gap.
He's not going to wait.
He's just going to block Cold Trickle off. He just said, no, you can stop for me.
He just overshot it.
Yeah. You have to assume after that one, Cold Trickle is going to have some words with him after the race.
Yeah, he lost 2.5 seconds to that group ahead of him now.
Yeah, that in that particular moment, you have to assume Cole is very pissed off after that one. That was, for use of maybe a better word, but that was plain stupidity to come back onto the track in front of somebody, especially with as much of a gap as there was between Cole Trickle and whoever the next car in line was, which I think is still Timothy Peters in 7th. And you can just kind of see the gap there. Like they're all the way back here. I believe Cole is on the straightaway there. Yeah.
Yeah, 19.7 seconds.
Yeah, so there was plenty of time for Herb to come out and not block off Cole. So you have to assume Cole's going to be pissed off at him and spotted, because somebody messed up there. As I believe, no, I thought they were closer to Chase, but no, that is Conover in front of them. But I think Chase might be running Michael down a little bit.
Last lap time, Michael gained 7/10, but obviously, again, that was what we would assume would be
With
just because of the
lap
lapper.
Yeah, because it did seem like Chase was held up a little bit more than Michael was.
Blade Timmons, once again, your fastest truck on the track, 2:10.3. Lead.
Which will, of course, change after the pit stops.
Yeah, lead from him to the leader, that was still 1:27, so Snoop right at a minute. So they're really not gaining enough, I would say, to make that, my point from earlier even matter remotely. But, wait and see. Still 8 to go, about, I guess I would say 7.5 or so now.
As Conover sends it a little bit wide back there, he is going to hold on to it and keep it going forward.
Yeah, him and Menzies kind of just out here on, I guess we'll call it a Monday afternoon cruise. Is Conover 3 laps down, nobody on his lap. Menzies 2 laps down, nobody on his lap. But you got Hornaday, Rudd, Guileless, and Herb. And Larson close to being a lap down, but should be able to make it to pit stops, or should be about a lap or 2 away. But you got Herb, Guileless, Rudd, and Hornaday all battling for a spot, but very well spread out. I don't see that changing hands anytime soon either.
No. So we'll keep an eye on any kind of little battles that we have. I think the closest battles are the battle for 3rd and the battle for 7th. The battle for 7th being between 2 team trucks. It does look like we do have battle for 13th.
Mm-hmm. This would be the closest one right now, yeah.
Actually, I think Creed, wasn't he in front of Harry? I thought he was 13th, or did he? I think he caught Harry. It might be more accurate.
So again, another thing to point out here, we said Snoop had just pitted, so he's good to go. Creed as well, only on a 4-lap stint. So every spot you can gain here before the pit stops is huge, coming back to the end.
And I think this is going to be the run in. I think this is the run in lap.
Might have one more. This is lap 15 for them.
And Blade asked, did we not get his paint job download? Gonna look like it's a no. We didn't.
That one I can probably grab because he's just using his league paint.
Yeah.
No, we kind of switched it up, Blade, because I wanted to get some practice for our actual league broadcasts. So, kind of last minute, I asked Nick if he'd be all right with me, kind of, I guess you could say, running the broadcast.
Yep.
And so we kind of threw paint schemes together right before we went live. So,
a little bit of mishaps there, here and there, but
wheelie, woo!
Getting it up on the 2 wheels. So we'll see. Who knows? There could be some pit stops on this lap. Somebody might try and get the advantage of that little bit of a short pit, as Hornaday actually locks it up right in front of Waltrip. I think Waltrip just about smashed his back end. As they're not going to stop here, but will any of the guys behind them?
Real quick.
Doesn't look like it as well. He just about destroyed the back end of Hornaday. Oh my word. Just gets slowed down in time. It's right up to that back number.
Just to show how much it slowed down, too. Or slowed up Waltrip. Just watch how much time Chase gains are here.
See, there's the smoke. And Chase, just because he's able to send it in like normal, is now right up behind him.
Oh, he was.
Until Hornaday blocked him off, too. So there you go. But it does look like now Larson holding him up as well. And so, just like that, we might see this final run to the finish not being decided fully on track, but maybe by who's got the better pit crew here.
Yeah, the next lapper would be Susie, which they will definitely not catch her
before pit stops.
But yeah, this will be interesting. I know, again, if we go off strictly ratings, Chase Elliott 50 pit crew, Michael Waltrip a 40. So we'll have to see.
It's going to be interesting to watch. It should be everybody who has not pitted yet, all the way back to 11th, I believe it'll be, on pit road. So the whole top 10.
As this group's kind of caught a little bit, still 4.3 back, but.
Well, I'm sure with, whatever it was with Hornaday, and then I guess there was something there with Larson a little bit, because certainly he held up Walter.
So let's see if they come in, see if our trends holds true. And it will.
They're coming. Yep, here they come.
So here we go. They call it money stop time.
And it's really not just these two to keep an eye on in terms of their pit crews. Also, you have to take a look at the guys behind them, and even this battle, their pit crews. As this is going to be really interesting because you're not going to get to pit road side by side.
As Elliott, just to kind of point out, Elliott was the first one in his stall. Chase, that being.
Yep. Because you want to build it, and he's
out.
going to be first out. But
Waltrip beats him out, though.
Waltrip is going to beat him out, but he's going to be right on that back bumper. And it looks like Deegan might beat out Senior. And does. So there's a huge moment there. Deegan jumps Senior, Junior.
So real quick, your top 5 with the pit stops. Waltrip 15.3, Chase 15.7, Deegan a 14.9, Junior 15.2, and Bill Elliott a 17.9.
Now what I'm going to want to watch is Skinner in Peters versus Snoop Dogg, as he's actually now come around already.
Yeah, Snoop
so
beat
where
him out.
he beat him out big too.
Which is kind of fun, not really fun, well, I guess kind of funny too, but so we'll look at Trickle at 19.9 stop, still 4 seconds back to Elliott and 11 back to Snoop, so he's kind of in no man's land as long as he can keep it on the track. Snoop's pit crew was a 16.1, Peters was a 15.1, and still lost that much time. Skinner 18.3, Papa Bear 14.0.
Because Snoop's been on track for almost 10 laps at this point.
Yep, 9 laps.
Yep. So it's going to be pretty much the restart all over again. And we'll have to keep an eye on Timothy and see if he can go run down Snoop Dogg.
He's got 8.3 seconds. Everybody's really, now more than before, is even more spread out.
But the where to watch will be the lap times of Peters versus Snoop Dogg. And obviously, this is where it's going to be interesting because now you're seeing like they're in another lap traffic spot, and he's not going to get the run through here well. And now, not only is obviously he's going to try to get around the lap car, but Chase Elliott with a great run through that final corner because he wasn't being held up is going to have a shot at this.
It's going to be interesting. Will he send it on the outside? He will.
He'll send it in there deep, but will he be able to hold? I think Michael just got a little bit loose there. Chase may be a little loose as well, and he's going to hold on to the lead. But you could see how quickly things can change with a lap car in the way. Certainly, it's going to be Michael Walter versus Chase Elliott to the finish of this race. That lapper really helping Chase close the gap as much as possible.
Really, I believe actually somehow they caught. Oh, okay, Susie just pitted. Makes a lot of sense now. Okay. So that should be ideally, unless we have some random pit stop, which actually Payne Faust 17 laps on his tires.
So that's interesting to note.
And then, like I said, the other guys, Blade is on 12, so he, again, like we said yesterday, would pit coming to the checkered if he pit again. Larson also 12. And then Guileless, Hornaday, and Conover all on 12. So if we don't have any more miraculous, pit stop scenarios, Susie would be the last car that gets lapped. And then we will see from there. Just lock up in front of the leaders once again.
And Peters is already closed 2 seconds on Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, still 6.2 back. This lap time can't really compare because obviously Snoop was on track and they came out of pit road, but
It's a large difference between tires there, though.
As far as the top 6, which is all guys that just pitted, I guess we'll call it the outlap, Brian Deegan, a 41.4 was the best. And then it was Chase 42.4 and Waltrip a 42.5. And then Bill and Cole where it was a 44.1 and a 46.9.
So Chase Elliott looking like he's got a chance at this. Certainly, Deegan kind of cleared his junior there a little bit, and Bill not really as close as he was. So certainly pit stops making a difference for a few guys. I think most of all, I think Cole actually lost a little bit of time, if I'm not mistaken, because I believe he was closer than what that is now.
These guys are all spread out now. Like I said, Chase 3/10, but Deegan's 3.2 off of Chase, then Dale's a second off of Deegan, and Bill's 2.4 off of Earnhardt. So that time by Waltrip kind of even, an 8.139 to Elliott's 8.192. Deegan and Junior, and even actually the rest of the top 6 all putting down absolute heaters. 207.2 for Cole, 207.3 for Junior, and 207.4 for Deegan.
So they're coming, and last I saw, once again, Peters, another 2 seconds off of Snoop Dogg. So he's going to have a chance at him before the end of this race, as Chase looks to the outside, and he's not going to be able to get it done here, but he's certainly keeping with him. And the more that they battle, all of a sudden we might see, and I believe that is him closing there in that third truck on track.
Deegan, like a lot of them cleared Susie rather quick, but yeah, Deegan already cut it down to 3.2 seconds.
So you can see what battling does for you, and you can see what old tires does for you. Snoop Dogg is just hemorrhaging time to Timothy Peters, and these two battling are just losing time as well to Brian Deegan.
That gap will be under 2 seconds when they come back to the line between Peters and Snoop. It is 2.1 right now, already 1.9 within just a lap. As there you can see, he is closing.
You can see him. So, and Snoop is going to have to deal with lap traffic. And it's not just any lap traffic. It happens to be Timothy Peters' teammate. As that is Mikolaj in front of him.
Which, a position's only a point, but we've seen quite a few times at one point can be a big difference.
Absolutely. So we're going to see 2 battles coming to the end of this race. There's going to be this battle, as Skinner's probably not too far behind, as now Waltrip is getting held up by Conover, sends it in a little bit hard. He gets hard on the brakes, certainly had to check up a little bit harder for Waltrip, and now even the run off the corner I don't think he got as well. As Hornaday is going to send it in a little bit hard, and you can see Waltrip gets a little bit sideways through there, and Chase is sticking with it. He's certainly not going away.
And real quick, I talked about this gap. As actually Menzies got around Peters, but it's half a second. And Deegan actually slowed down quite a bit that lap. Leaders a 2:08.6 and a 2:08.8 to Deegan's 2:08.3, but still closing in.
You can now see Menzies is going to look to the inside here, and this might be enough to open up a door for Peters. He's actually going to go to Menzies outside, and that's going to shove him off the track just about. So
look at what this battle's doing, though. Bringing in another
Skinner.
Teammate.
Yep. As looks like Snoop's going to clear Mikolaj pretty easily on that straightaway, and Peters certainly is not going to want to ride behind any lap trucks. He's going to look like he's going to try to clear them both there, and Skinner looked like he was going to try to clear them both, and he's still going to do it, I think.
We're seeing the gloves come off right now.
You certainly don't want to wait behind any lap traffic, but back at that front, I'm wondering if Deegan's going to get a chance at this, honestly. So, actually, Herb is off, and I just saw somebody go straight for the wall. I believe that was, actually, I don't know who that was. It was, oh no, Papa Bear's in the tires. What happened there?
I'll ride along on this one.
Absolutely. So Papa Bear.
We are on the white flag. So we'll watch this
Nikolai's got slideways in front of him. And Papa Bear's just going to come through here. And he takes it wide and just gets in the grass.
Ooh.
Straight to the wall.
And I would have to guess that one is a tow. It is.
So that's going to be right at the end of the races. We're actually on the last lap here. It's Michael Waltrip versus Chase Elliott. Now, I don't know that Chase is going to be close enough anymore.
Just real quick, we do have a 3-car battle here for 7th.
And Peters is going to look to his outside. He's going to send this thing in here. Mike Skinner, as he's sideways through the corner, giving it everything the truck is worth. Skinner's going to look to his inside now. He's going to try to get around. And just incredible racing all the way through this field throughout this race. It wouldn't be a great finish if there wasn't great racing here. So teammates battling and allowing, I think, Snoop Dogg to maybe get away far enough.
And real quick, I looked on the track map. We have lap traffic going to play a factor in this finish. Potentially. Harry Potter.
We'll have to see. Certainly there's going to be this battle on track, and I do believe they're going to catch him.
It'll be close. We're gonna have to see a big move here from Chase as we're coming to the finish.
This is the final time through the Almond Straight, I believe it is, and then into Sunset Corner. I don't think they're going to catch him. It does look like they're going to be able to get the proper run through that corner. It looks like Michael's going to get through the corner fairly well, and he's going to clear off and just come through home first place. Michael Walter, his first win of the season. So go back and look at Cole Trickle. This looks like he got around Bill Elliott at some point. But we still have this battle, and it's not over. Peters to the outside. Snoop defends to the inside. Snoop on much older tires. Peters on much newer tires. And we're going to see how this is going to play out as they come through here. Peters can send it in deep, and he really sends it in deep. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold, and now even going to likely lose the position to his teammate.
And
so Snoop Dogg able to hold on to 7th place. Here today, Mike Skinner 8th, Timothy Peters 9th. An incredible finish at the line.
And this was a battle between 3 lappers. It was Susie Faust Rudd as Susie loses both spots. But Chase kind of giving Mikey a congratulations little bump there. But so important to note, your top 5, 3 regulars and 2 newbies. And I would argue it would have been extremely different if you didn't see Rob Mack, Rosler, and Rowdy Burns. Well, Senior would have needed a good recovery, but yeah, I think you're right with that one.
Well, and even Crafton just going off by himself. He was coming to the front on his recovery when it had happened. I think he was up to 12th at the time. So I think there could have been some changes for sure. That was still in stage 1, if I'm not mistaken, or it was early stage 2.
Yes, stage 1.
So there was time for all of those guys to make up.
Rob Mack was lap 1.
As well as Senior.
Senior was the restart.
3.
So yeah. 39 laps down. And then Rosler and Burns were all under caution.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, real quick here, and we'll see how the track changed. Track actually cooled off. But another thing we're going to look at, too, and it went away. Um,
Oh, and
but
it went back.
did
Cautions
it?
4, caution laps 10.
So okay, so yeah, once we got through those 2 cautions, we stayed green for the most part. Actually, we
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Other than the 2 stage cautions,
4 lead
which is
changes, which I
fair.
believe your leaders would have been Burns,
Burns at one point, yep.
Waltrip,
Because I believe
Chase,
he
and
won
Deegan.
stage 1. Walter Chase won stage 2. And Deegan, I think, started on pole, didn't he?
Hmm. So
So, yeah,
basically, if you led a lap today, you finished top 3, except for poor old Rowdy
Roddy
Burns.
Burns.
But Field comes down pit road. Michael Waltrip wins his first race in his first appearance in the Truck Series, so that will more than likely, would assume, put him in the top 20, especially with stage points and such. So more than likely, the first ticket punch to the chase, Michael Waltrip, is Rico. We would assume again would fall outside the top 20 as he did not even make the grid today. But we'll go ahead
Well,
and
he might be okay. I mean, obviously, winning a race going to be a little bit helpful there. He might end up like I think maybe 18th, 19th. He might be right on the cusp, but it's gonna be questionable, going forward because how often does he miss races?
yeah, that's going to
So
be, which I think it's, and the big wild card now too, since we do have go or go home. What's going to happen when we do head back to a plate track? Could you see Michael Waltrip miss out? Anybody at this point now?
well, I will tell you where our next race is, and we'll see you live for the next truck race from Sparta, Kentucky. As we'll head to the Kentucky Motor Speedway for, I believe, a night race under the lights.
Which that'll always be fun. The one good thing about me doing the broadcast, we can pop this little screen up here and get official results. As again, like I said, Michael Waltrip, first race with the NORA Sim Truck Series at Sebring, claims victory. Chase Elliott second, Brian Deacon his first race as well third, Dale Earnhardt Jr. fourth, Cole Trickle fifth, Bill Elliott sixth, Snoop Dogg his first race seventh, Mike Skinner eighth, Timothy Peters ninth, and Ryan Dungey rounds out the top 10. I'll let you get the next ones.
So, real quick before we move on to that, I have to assume we're going to have a new point leader, specifically in Mike Skinner. He finished third once again this week, or last week he finished, I believe it was 8th today, and I believe he is the only person in the top 10 that finished in the top 10 last week.
Dungey as well, but yes.
But he beat out Dungy. So I believe he's going to be the new point leader. We'll obviously have to wait and see once the points are done. But as for the rest of the results, Sheldon Creed would finish 11th, Christopher Bell in 12th, Blade Timmons in 13th, Russ Wheeler bringing home 14th, Kyle Larson 15th, bringing up the last truck on the lead lap was Harry Potter. Payne Faust would be the first truck a lap down, 17th. 18th was Ricky Rudd. 19th, Alexis Susi. Mikolaj Skylis in 20th.
21st, Tyler Erb. 22nd, Ron Hornaday Jr. 23rd, Bryce Menzies. 24th, Ryan Conover. And here's where it got kind of hairy with the DNFs, but Papa Bear, 25th, first car with the DNF. Jimmy Owens, 26th. Shane Clanton, 27th. Two teammates right there back to back. Matt Crafton, 28th. Stage 1 winner after a great strategy call. Roddy Burns, DNF under caution after pit stops with Larry Rosler, who finished 29th and 30th, respectively.
And 31st was Dale Earnhardt Sr. in 32nd and was the first truck out of the race, Rob McCochran. After that, we see the 4 trucks that failed to qualify, but obviously they didn't run the race, so no points.
Well, another race down. I believe we'll have to look, but I would assume the trucks will start having off weeks here soon. But
Let me double check because Kentucky was put in place of Vegas. And it actually looks like, I believe they have their first off week next week. They do.
So, new point leader, and he's going to have to wait to defend that point lead. But with that being said, with 2 races in here at Sebring, I think, like I said, once you get spread out, it's kind of all she wrote. But I think you'll see that quite a few times this year, other than the plate races. But all in all, final thoughts from the truck race today.
I think it was a good race. I think they heard what we said in the GT4 race, and some of the Cup and Xfinity guys said, "Listen, we want to run Sebring. Y'all get out there and put on the show."
Yeah, we'll be honest, it was definitely in jeopardy. Kind of want to do some testing at other road tracks, see if it's all the same. I'd imagine it all is. I mean, once you get spread out and stuff, it's kind of hard to get past it and whatnot. But never know. We could eat our words again tomorrow and potentially Wednesday for the Xfinity and Cup race. But so we got your final thoughts for today, but we'll look forward to tomorrow. We kind of said at Daytona, Kevin Harvick, from all the testing we've done, almost put a stranglehold on that series, and unfortunately for everybody else, claimed the win last week at Daytona. What are you thinking for tomorrow? Are you thinking we're going to see our first repeat?
I think it's possible. I think we'll see some names that maybe didn't do quite as well at Daytona do a lot better tomorrow, much like we did, I guess, today even. A lot of the truck series, I think there were 3 guys, I think, that finished in the top 10 at Daytona that didn't even qualify for the race. There was, I know, at least 2. So, well, I know there was 1 because there was the winner. I think Clanton actually wrecked out, but it's going to be interesting. It's also going to be interesting when we see Mike Skinner's truck for the next time. It might have a little bit of a nod to motocross and the red plate in a way. So we'll have to see what happens there when we come back in 2 weeks for the truck series. But tomorrow's going to be interesting. My pick for the race, Kyle Busch.
I'm going to be a little biased. Well, not even biased. I'll say just from what we've seen so far. Got the win last week. I think got to be one of the favorites. Again, could be surprised, but you never know. I'm going to go old Harv. I think he starts up front and kind of hangs on. But
so still a little bit biased from both of us this weekend, second week, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's week 2. Not really much, stat and performance to go off of, being it was a Daytona race. But like I said, just
statistically speaking, from their ratings, they're both drivers that we know, statistically speaking, are going to likely run up at the front.
Yeah, for sure. Well, obviously anything can happen. For all we know, they could go into turn 1 and have the same instance we saw today. So,
well, who would have guessed that Dale Earnhardt Sr. and I believe it was
McCackron.
McCackron out in the first full, before we even got a full green flag lap in.
Yeah, anything can happen. That's what we've seen plenty of times already. I think one of the only problems I do see, more so when they get spread out, if somebody does happen to catch somebody like we saw with Chase, I think it's hard to pass, I'll say. I think, restarts is a little bit easier, but I think once they get spread out and get going, that's when it makes it tough to pass. So keep an eye on that for tomorrow, and then again, obviously on Wednesday. But real quick, just to kind of touch on some stuff going on with the actual NORA League. I know we have an 87 session tonight for our inaugural 87 Daytona 500 next week. Same thing also on Wednesday, which I believe we're going to try and broadcast it. It'll be the first official, I guess we'll say, broadcast for the league. I got to get with a couple admins and see what's going on with that. But no, well, like I said, we'll see what happens tomorrow, see what happens on Thursday, and I'm frankly ready to get to a intermediate track, kind of see what these guys got on something that isn't as spread out, hopefully.
Or as nuts as Daytona.
Yes, but if you're watching the video, drop a subscribe. Help us out immensely. We appreciate the support. You guys tuning in, watching, chatting. Susie Blade today. Appreciate you guys. If you're interested in joining, still got plenty of spots, even though we do obviously have Go or Go Home. We're still accepting spots in all series. Just join the Sim Series Discord. Next time this page will be live will be tomorrow for the Xfinity race. And then obviously again Wednesday for the Cup race. And then I would imagine next Sunday, we'll have to look at the schedule if GT4 runs again. But next Sunday for GT4, if not, obviously the Xfinity cars again, which I believe you said was Kentucky.
No, the Xfinity will be at Homestead.
All right. Okay. Right. Okay. So yeah. So Xfinity goes to Homestead.
Yeah, that's why the trucks are off next week, because they're not going to go to Homestead. Xfinity and Cup is, and then Kentucky was put in place of Vegas. So all 3 series go to Vegas in real life. Go to Kentucky here.
I gotcha. All right. Well, time to sign off. I'm Josh Conover. He is
Nick Gillis.
And from rather sunny Sebring, Florida, want to drop a congratulations again to Michael Waltrip. First race, first win.